Welcome in, Dragon Ball Super Dope. My name is Kyle. Thank you for checking this out. I'm joined today by nobody. Quick solo episode, just about a couple of things. Mostly the last two episodes of Dragon Ball Daima that I haven't covered yet. Episode 13, Surprise, aka Surprise. It's the hamster episode and it sucks. And episode number 14, Taboo, which is an episode about something I don't remember. Oh yeah, it's about the other Ginyu Force. I have descriptions or recaps here I'm going to read to you in just a moment. Before we do, though, there's a couple of other things. I feel like if I don't say them at the top, I'll forget to do them on the back end. So I did want to talk briefly again about how the marketing for Dragon Ball Daima as a series has been, I think the kindest way I can put it is mishandled. Tremendously mishandled. It's like really pathetic. And the other part is it's been announced that Daima will conclude on episode number 20, which I think will be February 28th is that last day. So, yeah, we'll talk about the first two episodes, then we'll talk about the 20 episode count, and then we'll talk about the marketing. Again, I expect this to be a pretty quick episode because these last two episodes, it finally happened a little bit. They didn't really hit for me. Let's look at the first one, Surprise. Surprise is the most GT coded ass episode to this point in the series. And mind you, this whole series is about Goku and the gang getting turned into little kids. The Surprise episode is like reminiscent of a GT filler episode, like one of those one-off story of the week things that it almost felt like the Kraken episode a little bit, but the Krakens keep recurring. I wonder if these giant hamsters and giant people are going to recur or they go to that other giant planet. I'm already getting into my thoughts. Let me just read it. As a last resort, Goma orders Degasseer to disable all warp lords, seemingly trapping Goku and his friends in the second demon world. Simultaneously, Goku's plane crash lands again after experiencing more engine failure. While Bulma and Pansy complete the repairs, the others explore their surroundings when Neva suddenly realizes they landed on a small bioluminescent jungle planet of monstrous giants, urging for repairs to hurry. They discover this when an army of large hamsters suddenly attack, but more so when a towering native demon child and his pet dog stomps toward the ship. While the child sits on a nearby plateau, the dog sniffs out the group, forcing the fighters to distract it while Bulma and Pansy finish repairs. When that's the most enjoyable part of the episode, to me, it's not a great sign. It's like, oh, look, they're small fighting a giant good boy, except he's kind of a dickhead dog. But, you know, all dogs are good boys. That's my point. That was fun to watch. It gave a couple of really fun shots. It was an interesting action sequence, but I think that's about where my interest in this episode dropped off. Let's see. Once the repairs are finished, everyone boards the ship except Goku, Vegeta, and Piccolo, who continue to distract not only the dog, but the child as well, who starts swatting at them, believing they are insects. Yeah, he's like coming home with his school bag and shit. He's got his textbooks. He's got his ruler. He's like, fuck off, little bugs. I understand wanting to swat bugs. Mosquitoes are my least favorite thing in the world. Not even because like they might give you deadly diseases or whatever. I just don't want to have the shit buzzing in my ear. Like my ears, it's my safe spot, dog. You ever see something about Mary? Warren? You know, her brother? He's always wearing those headphones. Well, the reason he's named Warren is because he's named after the hometown that I grew up in, Warren, Rhode Island, where we're all a little autistic and very sensitive about the ears. Let's see. Yeah, anyway, swatting at bugs. Goku goes Super Saiyan. Goku keeps the child at bay before flying away with the ship and the others, where they ponder the many mysteries of the demon worlds that the demon world offers. You know, I've not watched this episode, which is why my commentary is so limited since it aired. I've had to get into this annoying habit of watching the episodes more or less directly when they hit Crunchyroll. Because in the last episode, I think I talked about it, having Super Saiyan 3 Vegeta spoiled really pissed me off. Really pissed me off. And again, I got screenshots of that on my social feeds as the episode was like finishing in Japan. Like at the same exact time. Like you got like an hour or two in between it airing in Japan and it hitting Crunchyroll. I cannot recall a time I've been more annoyed about having something spoiled for me in any media. At least in recent memory. I'm sure something applies, like maybe Walking Dead shit back when I used to follow that fucking soap opera. But My point is, I've been watching them pretty much when they air. I watch them on my lunch breaks from work, dude. It's so annoying. And like the whole time, I'm just like, 'cause, you know, you go out, you get some food, you fucking do what you got to do real quick. And it's like, all right, I got like 25 minutes. That should be just enough time. And like the whole time, I'm just like watching the clock. Like I got to go back to work. It's not, my point in saying all of this is it's not like an ideal way to consume an episode for the first time. Never mind an episode where not a whole lot happens. They fight a giant hamsters, they fight a giant dog, they fight a giant schoolboy. And oh, look out, everybody. They're only the second biggest world in the demon realm. Like there's a giga fucking demon world or whatever. I forget what they call it. I haven't gone back to watch this one or last week's episode since they first aired. I don't have any notes. I'm basically just going from memory. So I'm sure that there's a ton of stuff that I'm glossing over and just not mentioning. And I mean, we're going to talk about more what the pacing of this series is going to look like now going forward, knowing that we have, 6 episodes, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Yeah, 6 episodes left. What's the pacing look like from here? Because I thought there are moments where I'm like, man, this series really fucking moves. It's really, really quick. And then an episode like this happens where it really did feel like a filler episode. They do kind of move things along in the next one, which we're going to talk about right now. But yeah, man, the pacing in this show, knowing that it's a limited series and that, you know, there is some kind of definitive end or some kind of finish line that they have to reach. It's just such an oddly fucking paced series, man. It really is. Let's see. Episode 14, Taboo. As Pansy calls her kingdom to report their progress, Degasu gathers an elite group of Gendamari, known as the Gendamari Force. It's almost like Ginyu Force, but Gendamari Force. What the fuck's the one with Jiren? The Pride Troopers? That's a little bit different, I guess. How about Kula's boys? What are they called? Kula's Armored Squad, I believe, right? Like, I don't know. It's a fun gimmick. But, like, did we need it here? I guess. I mean, it's better than Goku just whooping the shit out of some beat cops trying to collect gold coins, just suck people's souls off. So, whatever. Miss Pansy gathers an elite group of Gendamari known as the Gendamari Force. While he is unimpressed by their goofy nature, Goma orders them to guard his palace from Goku's group in case they get past the disabled Warp Lord. Though the Force is unconcerned hearing the invaders are children. And also, they've disabled Warp. So they're like, you're just here as a last-ditch effort, just in case I need somebody to fight for me. Which is funny, so they don't take it very seriously. You know, bourgeoisie, fucking first demon realm, royalty shit. Oh, yeah, they'll never get to us. But when they do, oh, they're just kids. Well, fuck you, man. These kids are about to throw hands. I gotta calm down. Finding the Warp Lord unresponsive, Goku uses his power pole to test the blocked access tunnels, getting electrocuted into unconsciousness. Excuse my stutter. But I was thinking of when they do get to Warp and like Goku like opens the fucking door and like tries to poke him awake, poke him in the mouth. I don't know. I thought it was really funny. But yeah, then he goes and uses Naobo to touch the glass. Oh, it looks like glass. I guess it's an energy field, shield, whatever you want to say, blocking the tunnel that allows access between the 3 worlds. Almost dies, almost falls down and dies. Neva intervenes and magically opens the tunnels separating all 3 worlds, explaining that he created them to protect the 2nd demon world from 1st world snobs and the 3rd world ruffians. So, a couple things. Neva. I did not expect, or should I say, I never expected Neva to be a part of the main cast here. I thought he was going to be like somebody who helps get the story started, maybe somebody who helps get the story resolved. Now that he's joined the group, it's remarkable that he just helps solve all the problems outside of fighting. And even then, it seems like he could help power a motherfucker up. We saw him do it with the Tamagami, presumably because it's one of his own creations. But what's to say he couldn't do that for Goku or Vegeta? I mean, Piccolo? Why not Piccolo, right? The other thing, I really love how they explain or, you know, what the reasoning is for having built the energy shields for this tunnel. It's because the 3rd world, they're a bunch of poor assholes coming up here trying to beat the shit out of us middle class folks. And then the first world people, they're just snobby ass motherfuckers. I don't know what they're up to. Maybe they're tourists. Maybe they just go down to the second demon world and pillage and take whatever they want because it's like, we're better than you. We're royalty. I'm doing a really poor job articulating it, but my point is the focus on the elimination of the middle class. God damn it. I didn't want to have politics come into this today, especially today. I'm recording this on Tuesday morning. We learned a whole bunch about oligarchy yesterday in 1930s and 40s Germany, right? The elimination of the middle class is basically the reason that Neva put these constraints in between. And they kind of had to figure out a way for them to be able to travel between the worlds that was a little bit more regulated. Regulation. I mean, regulations protect people, apparently, in this instance. And it seemed to have worked out, but it only worked to the point where it kind of kept people in who didn't already flee. Like the Namekians, for instance, having fled to the outside world. And I'm sure there's a million other examples of them, but like the Namekians are one that was like, yeah, we out. Oh, you got an energy shield coming in? Yeah, we definitely out. So I don't know. I just think it's an interesting theme. Police brutality, or fuck the police, as I usually reference it in the scenes that we do fight the police. Fuck the police coming straight from the underground scenes, the elimination of the middle class, everybody having their own unique sort of quality or thing to contribute to the demon realm by way of their Majin magic or whatever the fuck, and everyone has a different ability and how they use it. I feel like that's something that's not been explored enough, but whatever. I'm also hopeful that we'll get a little bit some revolution at the end of this once they break off the fucking collars of all the prisoners or whatever. I don't know. A lot of interesting political themes here, I think. And again, all the Star Wars parallels in the world were in those first like 4 episodes. And if you think about like the political themes of Star Wars, I feel like some of them kind of touch the surface of the story here for Dragon Ball. And I don't know. I know Toriyama fucking loved Dragon Ball. Excuse me. He didn't love Dragon Ball. He loved to make Dragon Ball fans miserable. He loved Goku. What I meant to say was he loves Star Wars. Loves. He's gone, Kyle. He's gone. All right. Never intervenes and magically opens. I just said that. Elsewhere, the Gendarmerie force encounter Ku and Du at a convenience store, befriending them by buying them chocolate. I absolutely loved this scene. The cluelessness on both parties. And like by cluelessness, I mean the proximity to which that they're either about to be working together or working against each other. Are they going to fight each other? I really hope so. I hope that there's like a conflict where Du and Ku are like, oh man, we got to fight these guys. They were so cool to us. They bought us chocolate the other day. I don't want to fight those guys. And then they're like, yeah, maybe we don't want to fight these guys either because maybe they're way more powerful than us because they're actual, Majin magic made, whatever the fuck. I don't know. Can't wait to see how that goes. Befriending them by buying them chocolate. Extreme turbulence traveling to the first demon world forces Goku's group to abandon ship upon entering its atmosphere. When Goma learns of their arrival, he orders all of his men to attack as the group attempts to escape. I did enjoy that scene where they do enter the first demon world and like the plane is gone. They want to jump out of the plane, so they're just kind of coasting and Vegeta's carrying his shawty. I did enjoy that sequence. It looked really cool. It was cool to see, everybody open fire on them very unexpectedly once they realize that they're spotted and they have to duck, dive, dodge a ball. Duck, dive, dodge, duck, and I'm not used to recording podcasts in the morning. I got dodgeball lines coming in. Anyway, that's the end of episode 14, Taboo. I enjoyed that one more. At least it moved the plot forward a fucking modicum, you know what I'm saying? Like, at least they got to the next spot. They got the energy shield down. They fixed the plane for the 15th fucking time. It's almost like it's on purpose. I don't know. It was a better time than the hamster episode. That I will say 100% assured. I'm excited to see how this series wraps up, though. And I'll tell you why. Like I teased in the beginning, it was revealed Daima is going to be ending on its 20th episode, which will air on February 28th. We have 6 episodes left now. So what do we have to do? we have to get Dende. We're pretty much already at Dende. We're outside of the fucking castle or whatever, right? In the first demon world. Like, Dende's right there. We have to get the other Dragon Ball from Arinzu to come be with our Dragon Ball. I don't know where she is. Maybe she's somewhere in the castle as well. She's presumably close by. We need to defeat Buu and Ku. Maybe they fuse. Who knows? We need to defeat the new Ginyu force, the Gendamari force. Goma, is Goma a fighter in any of this? The third eye still has to come into play here. The thing that he originally was going to wish for that is presumably on Hybis's belt. Glorio being revealed as a traitor, although is he gonna do like a double cross thing where he's like, actually, these guys got me out of a lot of shit. I'm with Goku and Vegeta now. I feel safe with them. Probably not. Maybe though. I think the possibility exists more so for him than with Arinzu. Also, what about the heel turn for Pansy? I think that could be a thing that happens, especially because she was like, "Oh, this plane, it's broken again." I don't know. A lot of things could happen, but realistically, we have to get Dende back, get the Dragon Balls, defeat a handful of people, and wish themselves back into adults and escape the demon realm. And, you know, presumably there's some kind of transfer of power in the demon world from Goma to the next person. Maybe that person's Neva. Who knows? What I do know is that's a lot of shit to have to cover after we just spent 30 fucking minutes chasing giant hamsters in a field and getting swatted at like bugs by some fucking giant demon boy. I think the timing of the hamster episode is hilarious, but also I think it's on purpose. Because the episode before that, man, is Super Saiyan 3 Vegeta. And then they had a week off for the new year. And then it's the hamster episode. Now, let's talk about a scenario in which there's no episode break. All right? It's just SSJ3 Vegeta 1 week. The next week, it's this fucking hamster episode. Let's say it's in June. All right? We're watching this in June and not in the dead of winter, not over the holidays. Could you imagine how much shit, and there was a lot of shit talked about how, you know, silly this and dumb and fillerish this episode felt, but could you imagine how much more toxic and mad people would have been if, like, you give us one of the coolest highlights of Daima and SSJ3 Vegeta in one episode? You give us that, you give us the new design, everyone's talking about it, one way or the other, people are either excited about it or they're hating it, and they're having, like, inner dialogues about it, talking about it on the internet, talking about it with their friends. Do I like it? Do I think it's cool? Whatever. And then you got this stupid fucking hamster episode. Like, they needed it to come out over the holidays. They needed to take a week off. So that way people could be like, man, it feels kind of crappy not having a Dragon Ball this week. And then next week, it's the fucking hamsters one. And you're like, yeah, I missed this shit sandwich, I guess. The hamster episode was whack, dude. That was the most Dragon Ball GT coded ass shit. I'm pretty sure it's probably what there's an episode where a giant tries to marry Princess Trunks, right? I'm pretty sure it's a similar kind of thing where, it's just like big guy versus the little tiny guys. And it's a trope. It's done 1,000,001 times in storytelling, anime, cartoons, American cartoons everywhere. But bro, when you're working with such a finite fucking time frame of 20 episodes, what are you doing with this hamster shit? We don't need to see that. Unless we needed to see that so that way we can see the even bigger demon monsters on the first world. And they're going to be like the eagles. The eagles? Yeah, the fucking eagles. At the end of Lord of the Rings, and they fly over the fucking mountain and they're like, what's up? We're here to save you. It's going to be something like that. If it doesn't have some kind of inclusion in the ultimate finale, it's going to feel even worse. There's a lot of stuff to wrap up in 6 episodes. There's a ton. And I don't know, man, the first Dragon Ball Super, famously, I say this for pretty much every arc after the first 2 retellings for Battle of Gods and Frieza. So many Dragon Ball Super arcs start in a fun, promising, interesting place. And you get pumped on it and you're like, this is going to be so much fun. This might be one of the best Dragon Ball thing. And then by the end of it, you're like, just put me out of my fucking misery. You guys do not know how to land the motherfucking plane on any story arcs whatsoever. Oh, you're just going to have Zeno just erase the universe? Cool. I'm glad I just fucking sat here for the last 30 episodes, you bitches. Ugh. My point in mentioning it is maybe Daima might be on that same trajectory. Maybe. where Neva just kind of waves his hands and he's like, nah, it's cool, everybody. I fixed it. Oh, okay. Well, glad we came to the demon realm, Neva, just to basically wake you the fuck up out of retirement. I mean, I guess Goma had done that previously, but you understand what I'm saying. You've been here the whole time. You could have done this if you'd wanted to. Instead, you just fucking sat around looking at the goddamn ocean on an abandoned Namekian fucking planet by yourself playing fucking senile. You know what I mean? Like, goddamn. The pacing here is questionable at best, and I do worry a little bit about the end of the series now. Because, like, having 6 episodes left versus having 10 episodes left, because I've been thinking maybe it'll be like 22, 24 episodes, go through the end of March. April is the new television season in Japan, right? I'm thinking that's the way it's going to go. But, you know, having 10 episodes left to tell a story versus 6, like I just listed 6 fucking plot points that need to get tied up and resolved or hopefully included in. Dude, the fusion? Who the fuck's going to do the 3-way fusion? That's another one. And I'm sure there's a few others that I have not even thought about. If you know, if you have any that I haven't brought up already, leave them in the comments wherever you are. YouTube, Spotify. I've been getting Spotify comments. I should read them sometime, but I forget. Right now I'm remembering, but I'm on a roll and I'm angry. And honestly, I'm tired. And just want to get this over with. So I'm not going to read Spotify comments this week, but maybe soon we'll catch up on that sort of stuff. I do appreciate any kind of interaction you can give with the show wherever you watch or listen. Watch isn't really a thing because I don't like to be on video, but yeah, I appreciate you checking shit out and listening to me babble about a show for 12-year-old boys in Japan. Very cool of you. Lastly, now that I've gotten I've verbalized some of my fucking concerns about pacing and how this show is going to ultimately wrap up in hopefully a not shitty way, although I'm fully prepared for the idea that it will end up kind of stupid, but whatever. It's still beautiful to look at. And I'm not even saying that sarcastically because it really is like the best looking Dragon Ball series, I think. Lastly, just the marketing. So I don't know. I didn't watch Dawn to Dawn. I probably won't. I don't watch other animes, although I've been going on a real big Pokemon thing lately. Me and Amber and Mike Norm. It's been bad, bro. I played all through Pokemon Gold a few weeks ago for the first time on Game Boy. Well, actually on my phone with the Delta app. But yeah, man, I'm a Pokemon master. It's my destiny. And I don't know if it's just like a response, like a depression response, a disassociation, like a thing I can do while I'm disassociating. I mean, sometimes we just seriously put the anime on and we'll play Pokemon, all 3 of us individually, while we watch the anime. And like it's cool in a depressing way, you know what I mean? But I'm having fun with it. How the fuck did I get to Pokemon? Oh yeah, I don't watch other animes. Dawn to Dawn, pretty much, it had a simulcast. A first season anime. I assume they thought it was going to do well. Probably was a popular manga. I don't know. I haven't done the research, but I think it's fascinating that an anime in its first year will get an English simulcast that comes out the same week that it airs in Japan. You're going to tell me Dragon Ball, one of the most popular media franchises on the planet, I think it's top 15, top 20. You're going to tell me they couldn't arrange for that? No, instead I swear to God, dude, I've never seen a franchise talk out of both fucking sides of their mouth so frequently. Like on one side, it's like, no, we have to appeal to the broader Western fans. The international audience is where it's at. That's where our money is. Japan only has a population of X. Like if we sell things, internationally, we have to be mindful of international fans. Fans in the West, as they say. But fans in the West includes, Europe, Latin America, any Spanish-speaking country, America, so on and so forth, Canada. It's just, they say shit like that. Like all the last marketing for Spark and Zero, like pretty much anytime they put out a teaser vid, it would be with English voice actors, which I thought was interesting. Like Japanese is the default, you'd think, and I think everyone would understand, regardless of their country of origin, why they would make that decision to have the Japanese VAs as opposed to English ones. But they very intentionally chose the English VAs. The last few years, they do Dragon Ball Battle Hour, like the game convention where they announce all of the upcoming Dragon Ball fucking video game news. They do it in Los Angeles. They didn't do it this past month because of the wildfires, but it's just, it's so obvious that they're trying to appeal more and be more mindful of the Western fans in a lot of regards to marketing. But then when it comes to the actual deliveries, the delivery or localizations of their series, they give it like a fucking, well, they gave it like a full 1 month delay, right? From the time it started to the time that they put out those first few dub episodes in English into theaters. So that was the first 3, right? That was in November. Presumably like a week or 2 after, there's no reason why they couldn't have started to upload those episodes. They did not. They held on to them until what, like the end of January, right? I haven't watched them yet. I already watched them in theaters. I assume they drop at that point. It's already 3 full months after the series has started. Just play catch up, dog. Drop 3, and then maybe 1 episode a week, and then you'll probably be 4 or 5 episodes behind by the time the real finale rolls around in Japan. Maybe people have converted and want to keep up with the story, and they'll go watch it in the native language. No, they can't even be bothered to do that. They're just doing 1 at a time. And I'm just like I don't know if concern's the right word, because shit's going to sell regardless, but like kind of dumbfounded maybe is the better word for it. And I'm dumbfounded because they're basically flushing money down the toilet. And it's frustrating. Like, you have all the resources in the world. You could be great if you wanted to, but instead you're just resting on your laurels, I guess, would be the most appropriate phrase, but I'm not sure it entirely applies. The fuck y'all doing? That's really what I want to ask the people. I think a lot of it might, I don't know, this is my own fucking cope right here. I imagine some of it has to do with the acquisition of Funimation by Crunchyroll and what that localization process looks like. As I said after the theater event, it does seem like the in-house it seems like an in-house localization kind of thing. So like before it ever leaves Toei, they've already have their English and Spanish and Italian and French versions all written up and ready for those to go out to the casts in each respective country or whatever. I assume that's what they're doing now. The credits of the movie did not very clearly indicate. Honestly, I feel like a jack off now that I didn't go watch the first episode and watch the credits for it. Maybe it'd give me a better idea on who's overseeing script localizations. Because again, I don't think it's Chris Sabat. I think that's a big reason why we got Nadolny back, is because he's no longer the guy in charge, as much as I like him. But I just, I don't know, man. Look at a gift horse in the mouth. You could do it if you wanted. I feel like it's probably has to do something with not only the Crunchyroll and Funimation distribution rights, but also like there's like 5 different fucking companies that own a chunk of it, and they all have their say. I think the only one in this instance that probably wouldn't have much to say, if anything, would be Bird Studios, who makes the manga. But like Bandai, Toei, Shueisha, I mean, they're like the owner of yeah, probably. And then you got fucking Capsule Corp Tokyo. It's like 5 different people in here. I wonder how much that weighs it down, if at all. But again, that's probably just me coping and trying to over-explain things. So that's pretty much all I got for us today, because there's other shit going on. And the last couple episodes have not been super great. And I am concerned about what the end of the series might wrap up to be. Could wrap up to be a big old shit show. I think, I'm going to have to eat my words, boys. I mean, especially after that fucking Hamsters episode. Like, this is, I won't say GT 2.0, but it does feel like GT as done by Toriyama. You know what I mean? Instead of Toei. It's like his own, like, oh yeah, it's an interesting concept. Why don't I take the concept and do it my way? And it's been mostly fun, and, it's been funny. You can't say Daima hasn't been fucking hilarious. So I kind of have to eat my words in that respect when I was like, it's not GT 2.0. Yeah, kind of feels like it sometimes. One thing that I will talk about for the rest of my life, though, until I fucking die, is how episode 64 of GT, Until We Meet Again, is one of the greatest singular pieces of Dragon Ball media ever made. ever, regardless of series, regardless of the medium. That's one of the best pieces of Dragon Ball media ever. I don't know if Daima's got a Until We Meet Again in us, especially because they keep getting things set in this stupid ass fucking time period between the end of Boo and the beginning of Super or whatever the fuck. Lots of frustration. Just a PSA, Nazis aren't cool. If you think they're cool, or you think Elon Musk is cool, you're a fucking dweeb, and I don't like you. And there's nothing you can do to change my mind about that. The man is cringe personified, even more so than the fact that I just said the phrase cringe personified, which was admittedly pretty fucking cringy. I'll be back talking about the next episodes, probably with Rayshawn and Josh. Again, like I said it in the Patreon pre-show where I kind of like vented for fucking 15 minutes about everything. I just don't feel like talking to people sometimes. And I literally had a conversation with Rayshawn about this the other day because he hadn't heard from me in like 2 weeks. And was just like, dude, are you dead? What happened? And I finally like called him and I was like, dude, I just don't have the energy to talk about anything really. Like I hear my voice so much at work on the phone all day that when I don't have to talk somebody through a fucking crisis or whatever, I just want to shut up, which I'm sure a lot of you have thought at a certain point in your lives. God, shut the fuck up. That's just kind of how I feel lately. So I don't know. It's been tough to do these. This is the first time I plugged the mic in a month, in about a month. It's probably been like 3 weeks, but that's a long time for me. So yeah, next time we'll probably have Josh and Ray, and we'll talk about episode 15. I don't even know what the preview is. Flights, the cops got guns. They're using them. Big fucking shock there, right? All right. See you next week. If you like the show, don't mind me fucking bitching about shit. Make sure you subscribe, like it, comment, whatever your thoughts are about stuff. What did I miss? What other plot points in Daima need to be wrapped up before the 6 episodes that we have left? Tell me down below, either on Spotify or YouTube. If you're on Apple Podcasts, please feel free to write a review. I'll read them if I see them, because I don't always look for them because I don't expect to get them. All right, that's where we're at. And we'll see you next time. Super dope.